Hello, everybody. Welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I am Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
That's right, and I'm Brandon Bosser. We've got you covered for the next half hour with wall-to-wall local sports coverage.
That's exactly right. Welcome on into another DSI. Get your popcorn and get your drinks out, as I suggested in our 10 p.m. newscast. After a week, it's good to be back on the greatest show in America. And Brandon, We've got to start off with some big news, perhaps the biggest news in Delaware. Yesterday, the DIAA decided to postpone the start of fall sports. They also came to the agreement to condense the high school season, but for the schedule for when practice begins and the start of competitions can still be altered. But as of right now, winter sports are set to begin on December 14th.
Yeah, that's about 4 months away.
Yeah. Under the plan, each sport would have a 6-week regular season schedule with 2 weeks of postseason play.
That's right. Now, with a 2-week postseason, this is interesting for football because we'll now only have 4 playoff teams per division, and there are more questions to be answered, as Dana Carr from the Delaware Division of Public Health told the board during their meeting that football and wrestling would not be permitted in Delaware at the moment, but that DPH will revisit the issue in 4 to 6 weeks. It'll be very interesting to monitor that situation right there. And DIAA also voted to allow the summer out-of-season coaching rules to extend through the first practice date of winter.
Yeah, more news. Earlier this week in Maryland, I believe it was on Monday, they announced that the fall and winter seasons for high schools are officially postponed with the goal of having all sports play a condensed season in the spring. Sound familiar?
Yeah, we have a real theme here. We saw that in Virginia. We see that in Delaware, Maryland as well. Officials saying that the decision was made in light of local school systems deciding to start the year virtually. They also say details of the condensed spring seasons will be available in the coming weeks prior to the start of the school year. And 47 ABC was able to catch up with Parkside's head coach, Brendan Riley, about the decision. And according to him, this wasn't much of a surprise.
I think, you look at what it is that the trending data was around surrounding areas and who it was that was making decisions as far as, county-wise and administrations. So you kind of were able to see that something was going to come down the pike and we were just going to have to figure out what that was going to be.
So, Brandon, we saw this coming, right? We've seen what's happened in other states, and, we've been waiting for the DIAA. We've been waiting for MPSSAA. To me, a little bit, maybe they took a little too long, but, we kind of knew the writing was on the wall for a while. We were just kind of waiting to see exactly how this would be put out.
Yeah, in terms of Maryland, this was the right call here because you've got so many school districts that were saying we're going to start virtually and we won't even be able to play football in the first place. So you won't have too many teams being able to even field fall sports in general. Then we have the problem of logistics, how many buses it would take to drive kids to different places, and what if a kid on one of these teams were to test positive? Do you delay the game? Do you cancel it? Do you postpone it?
Kill the season.
Exactly. So I think that it's a good idea to try to push the sports back to the spring, get a few more months to see what happens here, because as of right now, it is not a safe call to go ahead and put those kids on the field right now with the pandemic raging as it is.
Yeah, and I think that's quite frankly the point for everybody. I think everyone is looking to do that. They're looking to give this a little bit more time and see what happens. And the language that we are seeing being used now is postponed. Back in the spring and winter seasons, we saw it canceled altogether. So we're trying to give kids hope, which is good, but at the same time, we have no idea, this could be any given time when this thing, or if it even continues or ravages on. All right. On to our next topic, and a pretty big one at that. COVID-19 nor a hurricane could stop the White Marlin Open from invading Ocean City.
That's right. We're going to take you through the week that was in OC. Monday, 42 boats went out. Tuesday, nothing with hurricane. Let's see if I get this right. Isaias, I get that right, Trey?
Go,
I get that right,
Brad.
Daniel. All right, taking
Daniel,
over the shore, baby. So of the first 2 days, all of the action happened on day one, and we had some great fish caught on the first day out. Restless Lady 2 out of Ocean City is the boat that initially took the lead of the tuna category. 114.5 pounds, Trey. Would it hold up?
Yeah, 2 other boats also got onto the leaderboards on the first day with tuna. Swordsfish out of Indian River, Delaware was second, weighing 92. So only tunas on the leaderboard after 2 days. Travis Ort and Restless Lady 2 at the top. And of course, here were some of the anglers after reeling in their big catches on day one.
About a 3.5 hour fight to get it in, and it was, I'm hurting, but it's in the boat and it's at the scale, so that's what we were here for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The water, went out there, dropped a little chunk down with some lumps and hooked up, and that's what we got. Good day. Rough day, but good day.
All right, now day 3, we also saw some good action out there. Let's start with the magic moment here. This boat out of Oxford over in Talbot County, they have a Wahoo on board. It needs to be 40 pounds to qualify, and they clear that by a good margin right here. That fish coming in at 60.5 pounds. We have our first place Wahoo right there, folks. Again, that's magic moment out of Oxford. Let's hear from the boat's angler, Mark Hutchinson.
Took about maybe 15, 20 minutes to get in the boat, and then that was about all.
Did you get to see him at all, or did he dodge?
Yeah, he stayed out about 20 yards for a little bit before we got him the rest of the way in.
And you had an idea he was a qualifier?
It got bigger as he got closer to the
Okay, all right.
So shortly after magic moment, we saw Salt Lick pull into the scale. Salt Lick bringing with them a dolphin. Shortly before this, a dolphin weighing 27 pounds was weighed, which was in first place, but they put the fish on the scales. This one came in at 35.5. And at that point, that put another local vessel in first place after day 3, this time in the dolphin category.
That's right. We saw a lot of local boats out there taking home first place at the moment, bringing in some big fish. Yesterday was day 4, and the action is starting to heat up here. More boats went out on Thursday than Monday through Wednesday combined, and yesterday a number of white marlins were brought in. The majority did not qualify, but it was a big day for local boats once again. Real Estate from Ocean City reeled in a 72-pound white marlin. That was the first one of the tournament to qualify. And the angler for that boat was John Morton, but it would be topped. That was bumped and currently in 5th in the category, worth $45,000. Following the Real Estate was the Hook and Settle. They also had a white marlin on board. And here they go getting that fish on the scale. That one comes in at 74 pounds. That would be the first place fish through the night, worth at that point $1.1 million. Yeesh. Now here's another Ocean City boat, the Sea Toy, and you can see them pumping their fist right here. They're pumped right here. That's because we have another qualifier. This white marlin weighing in at 72.5 pounds. Here's more from the angler of the Hook and Settle, who led the Open through 4 days.
Did you get a good look at the fish when it hit your bait, or?
No, well, we had a couple marlin in the spread when it hit. So
okay.
I mean, it never jumped, never showed, so we didn't know what it was. We got it at the back of the boat.
Wow, the lady kind of came right in the way there.
Yeah,
right?
what you got out of the way?
In the tuna division, the Sentient rolling in, and they were confident in their haul for the day. The first place fish was 114.5 pounds from Restless Lady 2. This one coming in at 121. That vaults the vessel from Slaughter Creek into first place. How about it? The angler, Frank Worley, is a Cambridge, Maryland resident. Eastern Shore stand up, baby.
That's right, which brought us to today, day 5 out there in the White Marlin Open. Local boats have been making waves all week long out there on the waters. So today the scale's opening at 4 o'clock once again. We saw some fireworks early on. Let's get right into it. The Drillin' and Billin', this boat from Hatteras, North Carolina, and they have a white marlin on board there, and they're feeling pretty good about this one. The leader, of course, 74 pounds. And let's see where this one clocks in at when the dust settles. This marlin weighing in at 77 pounds. That puts the Drillin' and Billin' in first place. And Trey, let's hear how much that fish is worth.
It's not worth a lot, dude. Just $2.9 million at that moment. So you can see why the anglers were pretty happy and pumped up. Taylor Fields and his crew pumped. Fields coming from Baltimore. His boys stand to win almost $3 million. And we just saw a 73-pound mahi come in. That is by far the new first place in the Dolphin division. But for the most part, over the course of these 5 days, Brandon, the headline that we are seeing is that local boats have been dominating.
Yeah, and because local matters, that matters to us. How cool would it be to see some locals walk away with big cash in this national tournament?
Yeah, and how cool would it be if that local was one of the coolest coaches in the Bayside? Current Decatur football coach Jake Coleman doubled this weekend as an angler on the Sentinel. I caught up with him earlier today. Let's just say Jake is feeling himself right now.
Yesterday was actually our first day out. So we're still fishing Saturday, Sunday. We had to take a little bit off. Last night we were partying a little bit too hard with MJ. And, it's just one of them things you got to take it slow and pace yourself out. The experience was simple. We locked on, I think, at 10:35. It was our farthest line out. We were way out there at the Norfolk Canyons. And it took about an hour and 15 minutes. It was an eventful fight. We had boats that were getting a little bit too close. It was getting hairy out there. Everybody kind of wants to see what you're catching and possibly catch something off the school. And, we got it close to the boat. We had the chair break that we were sitting in. The rod holder broke. And, but Frank Worley, just absolute beast mode. He picked the rod up, stuck it into a waist rod holder, and just manned it out. And, just completely beast mode. JC Collins did an unbelievable job. Look, when the fish comes up near the boat and you see the flash and you got something big, the adrenaline is going. But we had a few mishaps, like I told you, with the chair.
Yeah. And,
I got over top of it, and I said, look, Frank, you got to tell me when to gaff this. He said, look, put it right behind the fin. And, I gaffed it like I was pulling my son out of oncoming traffic, It was a pull, and then we had to pull it up and over top and in the boat, which was a hassle. And then when we got in the boat, man, it was pandemonium. We were celebrating, going crazy. Frank, he has fished for a long, long time. He's fished ever since he was 10 years old. He's been deep sea fishing. He's 47 now. And he's actually signed up for the White Marlin Open 3 times and had boat failure the day before or the day of. And so the fact that we were taking a fish we knew to the scales, that was a win enough in itself. So, taking it in, we knew it was a big fish. We knew it was an abnormally sized fish. Yellowfin tuna are probably averaging around like 80 to 90 pounds. We knew we were well over that. We had no idea that we were actually 121, which is just an unbelievable fish. So when we got it to the scales, it was a mixture of emotions. I know Frank got his lips started quivering a little bit. And, it's just a big moment. It was unbelievable to be a part of his dream and to have a small piece in it. And it was magical.
Well, Jake said, amongst a lot of things he said he and his team will not rest on their laurels. They plan on going out tomorrow and Sunday. They have their eyes on other leaderboards in this tournament.
That's right. Not much football to prepare for right now, but good to see Coach Coleman enjoying his time. Best of luck to him and the Sentient. And so far, that tuna they brought in is worth $85,000, so not too bad for Coach Coleman out there. And Frank Worley from Cambridge.
I really hope that Coach Coleman, his team wins that. If we get another interview, it is going to be 10 times what you saw there with the cigar and the MJ hat. All right, that's going to do it for the A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're running through an all-new After the Whistle featuring the muscle on the front line for the Wahoo tribe. That and more when Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
Hey, I'm Gabe Luma. I'm with Stephen Decatur Basketball, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Inside.